And I didn't realize how ridiculous it looked until I rewatched it. And it got it looked ridiculous. Just rifling golf balls as hard as I could 5 feet in front of me straight into the ground. But
it was a Rawless Chapman over here at the seventh hole, just hurling golf balls at the ground. But I think what everybody's here for is, dude, the live from reenactments have been just some of the best television that golf has found in a long time. I mean, seriously, it's a credit to you. It's a credit to your team, because it really has been amazing. Just like seeing what you guys are going to scheme up. I love Smylie and those boys have just like leaned into just like you coming out on stage in that video that Smylie created. It's like, here comes Wags. And it's just like, oh, let's go. Because you're watching the golf and you just know that's where we're heading that evening. And before you comment on it, I just want to know, how did it start? Whose idea was it? And were you hesitant to do it?
So no, I was not hesitant to do it at all. It started, Frank Nobilo used to do these tee to green segments, and Trevor Immelman did it for a while. They would go 2 weeks ahead and hit chip shots around the green, and it was all taped. And I remember telling Matt Hegarty, who's the kind of studio boss, I said, hey man, I want to be part of the live from team if it's ever possible. And my favorite things were the Frank Nobilo and Trevor Immelman tee to green, where they're hitting pitch shots and showing the golf course. I love golf courses. So they had me go out to LA last year for the US Open. And on Tuesday, Wednesday, they started me out with walk and talks, and it was incredible.
That's right. That's right. It was like a great start. Yeah.
I got Rory, got Ricky Fowler. I felt like it was easy for me to, playing with all these guys, Smylie, like you have. That's why you have so much success with your Fridays with Smylie, is that players respect you, like you, know that you're not going to put them in a tough position. So it kind of started there. And then at the Players Championship, it was about 2 weeks before, and it was Matt Hegarty, Alan Robison, who's also a big studio guy. He's the morning live from producer. He said, we're going to put you out on the golf course hitting chip shots, and we think we have approval to where at night you can go out and recreate shots of the day or whatever you want. And I was like, that sounds awesome. I'd love to do that. And
that's amazing.
It just kind of, and the players, I've got this field producer, Andrew Bradley.
Is that
who's
the first
a stud.
one? Is that the first?
Yeah.
So, all right.
The Players was the first one.
Andrew Bradley's great. And the Players was fantastic. This is where it began. This is where Nolan Ryan came out at the Players.
And so it was Thursday, and Jeff Fabian's like the on-site night live from producer, and he's a grumpy little Philadelphia Eagles fan, and he's just got this resting grouch face, and I've gotten to just love this dude. And I had my family there. It was spring break, and I come in for a break, and he's like, hey, did you see this drop Rory took on 7? And I said, no, but I saw the one he took on 18. He was making the turn to the front side. and so he's pulled up on his board. He pulls up the shot, and he's like, what do you think you could do with that? And I was like, well, Rory's character is never in question with me. He's certainly not going to take a bad drop. I said, what if I get some golf balls and I go throw them into the ground and try to recreate the height in which it bounces? We can put a camera right where this camera is, and I can just show how he had to have taken a good drop, because if it landed inside the hazard line, it certainly wouldn't be seen. And I was out there just ripping balls into the ground, and I didn't realize how ridiculous it looked until I rewatched it. And it got it looked ridiculous. Just rifling golf balls as hard as I could 5 feet in front of me straight into the ground. But
it was a Rawless Chapman over here at the seventh hole, just hurling golf balls at the ground. And the best is your grunt. You could just hear how hard it was for you to throw a ball 100 miles an hour. But it was so good, because you're like, you can make a case that's maybe he took a wrong drop, or maybe It's so good, man.
And then the next night there, I drilled one into a tree on the same hole when Rory had hit this incredible escape shot. And like, it's funny because people are like, you shanked that. Well, I had my son's clubs, which are very flat. I didn't have my clubs. And I've been standing out there. I hadn't hit a ball in a week. I've been standing out there for an hour ready to go live. And it's really hard to sit out there for that long, not having.
You don't hit practice shots?
Where am I going to hit practice shots?
Because then you got to go find the golf balls. What hole was the punch shot Rory hit?
It was on 7 again. He was way right.
It was right. Okay.
And he hit this shot that like he covered this little pond, landed in a bunker, skipped up the face, and had like 20 feet for eagle. And I just drilled this tree. Lucky it didn't come back into my face. But I mean, it's been so fun. Like, and I chunked a couple at the PGA, shanked a couple at the PGA, and I kind of built this sort of narrative that I can't chip, which I really can't. It takes a lot of mental strength for me to hit a good pitch shot, especially the easier they are, the worse I am at them. But man, it culminated at the U.S. Open. I had no idea Bryson was going to come out on 18, and I'm trying to hit his 55-yard bunker shot. He had been at the set. I thought I was going to get bumped like you bumped me from the Fridays with Smylie a couple days before, and I was going to be fine with it. And I sculled over the green, so worried I'm going to hit the windows. He comes out, and it was like I think I should stop doing the reenactments because I don't know how they're going to get any better than hitting it, to 18 inches in front of the champ. And I was like, give me that trophy, Bryson. Let me hold that thing.
When I saw the video, I was just smiling ear to ear. I was so happy where the ball ended up. And then Bryson, you could have never prepared me for I spit out whatever was in my mouth laughing for when you got that US Open trophy, just like you said, just right. It just was like for the golf viewers, man, it was like a culmination of just, we've been through so much to get to this point, and then we finally pulled off. Not only did we just pull off the shot, we did better than the pro. and so that for all the golf fans that have watched the struggles, we've been through thick and thin, and then we get to the 18th hole at the US Open, and by golly, shot of the year, baby.
It was unbelievable. And the response from people at Pinehurst last week, like I'm driving around in my cart and just doing my thing, and people are thanking me, and I have no idea why. I'm like, why are you thanking me? I'm having a blast doing this. And they're like, you've made it so relatable. And, it's been overwhelming. Like, the response I've gotten from golf fans, like I wish they had liked me shanking, chunking, and duffing chips, because that's all I did my whole career.
What was the most nervous you were over a shot through this entire season of Live From Shots? One where you're just like, oh my gosh.
It was Saturday at the Players Championship. Wyndham Clark chunked one in the water on 17.
So drop
zone? He decided to replay it, and he hit the shot. And it was my idea was to go out and show you why it was a good idea for him to replay it. And so I walk up, I take the walk from the tee box to the drop zone, which this is my only claim to fame on the PGA Tour. I've got like the career low scoring average on 17 at Sawgrass. I never hit it in the water in competition.
Me neither.
Yeah.
How about us?
Boom. Look at us.
It was a gap wedge. How can you guys not hit it on the green every time?
Seriously. So I walked up and I was like, this drop zone to this whole location, it's 72 yards. It's an awkward distance. And I just completely my heart was pounding the whole walk up, drop it. And I just slipped and chunked it right into the lake or pond. And that hands down the most nervous I've been over a shot.
I remember you slipping. You were lucky to hit the golf ball. I've never seen somebody slip so bad from 70 yards.
I'm wearing these like basically pro shop shoes. There's no tread. The dew had just settled on the tee box, and my footwork's not great, Smylie.
Okay, so after you shank a the PGA. Actually, let's go before the day before, when you're in the middle of the fairway, perfect Zoysia on the fourth hole, just hitting a pitch shot, and you chili chunk one. The next chip, what are you thinking? Like, don't chili chunk? Like, what is your swing thought on just a simple pitch like that at 4 after you just almost double hit one?
Was don't chunk it and get it over with as quickly as possible. So that's when I scolded across the green.
I listen to this podcast. It's really cool. And
all of our lovely fans and subscribers, but make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too. So please keep it up.
For all the good people of YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the